All right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 television program in the history of the entire universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown, all three books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today I'm going to be showing you my entire Michael Connelly book collection. I've got all of his books in hardcover and about half of his books in mass market paperback, and a whole bunch of other ones on audible.com. But anyway, I just think most readers should buy 3 or 4 separate types of copies of their favorite author's books. Hardcover, paperback, Audible, ebook. You know, especially if you're buying any books of mine. Anyway, I love Michael Connelly. I've often said he's in my top 10 favorite authors of all time list. In fact, I've done videos about my favorite top 10 authors of all time, and I think he made that list. Gosh, maybe even in the top 5, I'm not sure. But anyway, Michael Connelly writes the Harry Bosch mystery series. He writes the Lincoln Lawyer series, and he's got a couple of other little mystery series that are in his Harry Bosch sort of Hollywood, California universe. In fact, all of these books that I've got really do tie together quite well with all of the characters from the different books interacting with each other at different points. But let's get started showing you the books. Now, most of these books, well, I'd say, when I say most, I mean like a quarter of these books, I have read and left a review on the channel for. So if you want to watch any of those individual book reviews, you know, when I'll tell you if it's a book I've reviewed. Just type in my last name, Durfee, into the search bar, and then the title of the book. You'll find the, you know how to find it. So let's start with, when did I discover Michael Connelly? I discovered Michael Connelly in about the mid-1990s, after maybe a handful of his books had come out. And I was just hooked. I read everything he had, and I bought everything of his since. In fact, he's one of those authors that when a new book of theirs comes out, I stop everything, I buy it, I read it that day. I mean, he's just one of the greatest mystery writers of all time. He's like one of the Michael Jordans or Kobe Bryants of the mystery genre. So, Black Echo. Let's just start from the beginning. I'm going to show you these in publication order. From the first book he ever wrote to the last book. And so the Black O is Echo. Black O. The Black Echo, I've got a hardcover version here. And you can compare and contrast how, you know, graphic design has changed. I think this one came out, and when did this one come out? Like 1989 or 1990? It came out in 92. And this cover was designed probably in about 2005. So you can see a little bit of a difference in the way those are. Where should we put these? We'll put them over here. We'll put this one back. And then we've got the second one is the Black Ice, which this is the hardcover version. I also have the paperback version. In fact, one of the things was as I was collecting Michael Connelly books, I was always getting the hardcover versions when they released, and then the paperback version when the paperback version came out. And so one of the reasons I stopped collecting the paperback versions here, whenever I stopped, you know, halfway through I don't know how many I've got here, but they're right here. But it's because they decided to change the format of the paperback versions. You know, they went from these nice little normal size paperback versions to these, they started doing paperback versions that were the other size, like a slightly bigger. You know how these are slightly bigger now, the paperbacks? So I just stopped collecting them. I just didn't like that the publishers were changing the size on me all of a sudden, so I was just like, fuck it, I'll just go with the hardcovers. But I did keep these. You know, when publishers do this kind of thing, when they change the format and stuff like that, it's almost like, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's one of my pet peeves. It's almost like they're purposefully antagonizing the book collectors for no reason. For like no reason. Anyway, here's Black Ice, book number 2. Now these first 2 books, Black Ice and Black Echo, They were the first two books in the Harry Bosch series. So if you like the Harry Bosch series, certainly want to start with Black Echo and then finish with Black Ice. It'll not finish. Continue on with Black Ice. By the way, that's a spectacular cover, right? So the third book in the Harry Bosch series was The Concrete Blonde, which has kind of a, I mean, it's an all right cover. Right here, they've changed it up to kind of more of a different color scheme, clearly, with the girl's face on it. So that's book number 3 in the Harry Bosch series, The Concrete Blonde. Book number 4 in the Harry Bosch series was The Last Coyote. And here on the paperback, we actually have... Is there a coyote on both of these? Let me see. No, I don't see a coyote on the... But this one has a... This one has a little coyote on it. So that's book number 4 in the Harry Bosch series. Book number 5 in the Harry Bosch series, well, then he wrote The Poet, which was not in the Harry Bosch series. This was a book about a serial killer, and it starred a different character, Jack McEvoy, who is, you know, it's just got a different a lead character. And The Poet, I think Jack McEvoy shows up in another book or two. But The Poet was a great serial killer murder mystery. And we have the, let's see, we've got the paperback, which has a little bit of a different feel to it. And then we get back to more Harry Bosch books with Trunk Music, very red. And then they went a different direction with the paperback and went very purple. So that's Trunk Music. I think that's book number 5 in the Harry Bosch series. There's always a nice photo of the guy on the back here. And when I say the guy, I mean the author. Okay, so then we've got Bloodwork. This is not a Harry Bosch book, although it is tied into the Harry Bosch series. This is about Terry McCaleb, I believe. Yeah, Terry McCaleb. This is a book about Terry McCaleb, another person in law enforcement in Los Angeles. And that's the one thing I want to bring up about these books. Los Angeles is actually a character in all of these books. Michael Connelly knows everything about Los Angeles, the back streets of it, the history of it, all the neighborhoods. And it's really like an integral part of the story is just the city itself. So Bloodwork. And then we get back to more of the Harry Bosch books with Angel's Flight. I also have the paperback here of Angel's Flight. A bullet hole, and then a car in a parking lot. And then another photo of the dude. And by the dude, I mean the guy that wrote the book. And then next is Void Moon, with probably the goofiest... I don't like this cover at all. I don't know. I wonder if when Michael... I mean, it's very sparkly. It's like a disco ball. And I imagine... well, that's a pretty cool on the back. That's a cool author photo. But I imagine when he saw this... when they showed him, hey, this is what your new book cover is, I imagine he vomited just slightly in his mouth. And then the paperback, of course. Or maybe he loved this. Or maybe he designed it himself. Maybe I'm insulting a lot of people here. I don't know. But that's Void Moon. This was also... Was this a Harry Bosch one? No, this was about someone named Cassie Black. So it's kind of a... It's not a Harry Bosch one. And then we got Michael Connelly, A Darkness More Than Light, which is Harry Bosch. I don't know which Harry Bosch number this is, but we've got this thing going on here. This is a... Is that a pool ball? I don't know what the hell that is. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I have no idea what that is. It is absolutely... You can't even tell what it is. But on this version, there's a little ship. And then another author picture. Anyway, so that is another one in the Harry Bosch series. And then we've got City of Bones. City of Bones. Which, this one's got to be Harry Bosch also. Yeah, so this is part of the Harry Bosch series. City of Bones. Put that one there. And then, of course, Chasing the Dime. Now, I do know that Chasing the Dime is not a Harry Bosch novel. I think it's one of those it's one of those Jack McEvoy books. No, Henry Pierce is not even one of those. It's been so long since I've read a lot of these that when I reread them, I'll find out so Chasing the Dime, kind of a similar color scheme there. Put that there. And then we got Lost Light, which I know is part of the Harry Bosch series, Lost Light. I don't know which number it is. I've lost track. There's too many of them here now. It doesn't say anywhere on the cover which number it is. It would be nice if they were numbered, but the author photograph changes a little bit each time. And then we have The Narrows. I like this cover. I don't know why. This looks like rippling water or rippled water. That's like a really cool cover. I just like it for some reason. And then I like this one too because it's got the raven on it. So this is The Narrows. It's also part of the Harry Bosch series. Again, the author photos changed a little bit. And then we have The Closers, which is also part of the Harry Bosch series. Oh, it's got the same graphic on both. Just a little bit different with the typefacing. With the font or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. And then we get one of my favorites, The Lincoln Lawyer, which is a start. This is book number 1 in his Lincoln Lawyer series, which became massively popular. And perhaps you've watched the TV shows for both Harry Bosch and The Lincoln Lawyer, but this was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Echo Park. I do not have a paperback copy of The Lincoln Lawyer, but I do have one of Echo Park, which... Again, about the same graphics on each. Echo Park, this is another one in the Harry Bosch series. I don't know what number. We're getting deep into this. And I'm only halfway through. The Overlook, another Harry Bosch novel. The Overlook. Got both the paperback and the hardcover. So that's all the paperbacks I've got. I've been showing a lot of the back of my head in this video. So that's the end of the paperbacks. They're all right here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 paperbacks. But now the rest of them I just have in hardcover. So we've got The Brass Verdict, which is book number 2 in the Lincoln Lawyer series. And then we have The Scarecrow. I like the cover of this one. The Scarecrow. Another back to the Harry Bosch series, I believe, is The Scarecrow. That's a cool cover, like I said. And then 9 Dragons. I remember this one specifically because I think Harry Bosch travels to China in this one. Or Hong Kong. I can't remember. Yeah, Hong Kong. I've been to Hong Kong. I have been to Hong Kong. That's why I remembered this. So 9 Dragons, another Harry Bosch book. And then The Reversal. This has got to be a Lincoln Lawyer novel just because the gavel. I've read all these when they came out, and I got to reread them to re-familiarize myself with which ones are which ones and which ones belong to which series. The Fifth Witness, this is probably also a Lincoln Lawyer novel. The Drop. Yeah, this is another Michael. This is a Harry Bosch one, I believe. Yeah, Harry Bosch. And then we have The Black Box. Harry Bosch. And The Gods of Guilt. This one has to also be a Lincoln Lawyer book. The Burning Room. I'm assuming that's Harry Bosch also. Oh, let's check it out. Let's see. Yes, it is. And then we have The Crossing. This one is Harry Bosch again. Some of these books now we get, not only do we get Harry Bosch in these novels, but a lot of these novels towards the end here, the more recent ones, have both Harry Bosch and Mickey Haler, the Lincoln Lawyer guy. So The Wrong Side of Goodbye is Harry Bosch again, but Mickey Haler probably shows up in it. The Late Show. Okay, this is a Detective Renee Ballard book, The Late Show. So this is when he introduces another character into his Los Angeles-based series. And then we've got the Two Kinds of Truth, a Bosch novel, and then Dark Sacred Night. This is a Ballard and Bosch novel, so both Ballard and Bosch are in it. And then we've got another Ballard and Bosch novel, The Night Fire. And then Fair Warning, which I believe is a Bosch novel. No, this is a Jack McEvoy novel. Probably Harry Bosch is in it, though. The Law of Innocence, another Lincoln Lawyer novel. Oh, no author photo. There's no more author photos. The Dark Hours. This is a Renee Ballard and Bosch novel again. And then Desert Star, Ballard and Bosch novel again. And then a Lincoln Lawyer novel, Resurrection Man. Yeah, the author photos have disappeared. Don't know what happened to them. Desert Star, Ballard and Bosch novel. And then last but not least, the book I just reviewed a couple of weeks ago, Nightshade, which is set on Catalina Island. And so that, my friends, is my entire Michael Connelly book collection right there. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.